Everybody has been struggling to defend in FC26, so today I'm going to show you 5 things you can do that will instantly improve the way you defend. These are the exact tips I used in the early access finale tournament to shut out my opponents. And by implementing them into your game, you will instantly improve the way you defend. First up, stop spamming B or circle when you're defending. I know this worked in FC25, but in FC26, this is the worst habit you can have. Pressing tackle at the wrong time can leave your defender stranded. Instead, jockey using the left trigger and focus on keeping your team's shape and blocking passing lanes. These are the 2 things you need to focus on, and the opportunity for tackles and intercepts will come. For instance, if you look at this, we have our 2 center mids or CDMs sitting in front of our back 4, and our back 4 is in line. And because everyone's in position, you can see that the opponent has no one to pass inside the box, and there's no options. So he goes square, and once he goes square, we jockey into the passing lane and make the interception. That being said, there are still moments in the game where the tackle button does come in handy. For instance, when the opponent takes a bad touch, that is the moment to use the tackle button. Next, when defending, always have your center defensive mids or center mids selected. This allows your backline to stay in shape while still allowing you to pressure your opponents into giving up the ball. There are some situations where you will have no choice but to defend with your backline. The key is to be patient. Don't jump in because this is your very last line in defense. The third tip is to master right stick switching, and this is done by basically pushing the right stick in the direction of the player you want to switch to relative to the player you have currently selected. Make sure to use these settings for right stick switching. You want to have right stick switching on classic, switching reference on player relative, and another important thing is having sensitivity on 0, which I think works best in FC26. Play switching with L1 or LB works sometimes, but it's too random. With the right stick, you can snap to the exact defender you need instantly. Take this sequence for example. The only option we have to switch to with LB is our center back. He is already in a good position. What we really want to do is switch to our center mid using the right joystick. It takes practice, but once you get comfortable with it, defending feels way more in your control. Now this next tip is one I feel very strongly about, and I feel a lot of people have gotten this all wrong. Don't use low depth. Sitting back deep might feel safe, but it actually invites pressure and makes you defend in your own box the whole game. And honestly, it's so much easier to score against, because there's barely any pressure on your strikers when they receive the ball, and all it takes is one quick turn or a fake shot, and it's an easy goal almost every time. Instead, use this defensive approach. Now, I started playing FC26 using the usual high defensive approach, but there's one big issue with high defensive approach in FC26. The center back AI doesn't actually track runs inside the box. And sometimes honestly feels like the AI gives up on defending once someone gets past your backline. So I have a solution for this. So instead of going deep, you go balanced and increase your line height just before it reaches high defensive approach, which is 69. So you don't have the negatives of a low defensive approach, and you get as much benefit as you can from a higher defensive line without having an issue with the AI not tracking runs into the box. And I've tested this defensive approach in the Pro Open. Even though I don't consider myself a pro player, I found that I was winning much more games and finding it much easier to defend against decent players. And last but not least, tip number 5 is to use second man press. Second man press is activated by pressing and holding the right bumper and is essential to having great defense in FC26. With second man press, you can create 2v1 situations that pressure the attacker into making a mistake and giving the ball away. The way to use second man press is to have your selected player in position blocking the passing lane, then have your second man press pressure the player with the ball. It can also be used when a striker is isolated, so you can use 2 players to try to steal the ball away. Those are the 5 simple but game-changing ways to defend better in FC26. Put this all into your game and you will instantly see the difference. If this helped, drop a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments which tip made the biggest difference for you. And let me know if you have any further tips of your own to add. See you in the next one.